If you are a new member, please accept our wholehearted welcome. And if you have any questions about our practices and topics, we're all here to help. And if you're a regular, welcome back. It's great to see you. It is customary in Australia to begin any meeting by acknowledging the traditional owners of our land. So in the spirit of reconciliation, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we walk, study, and reside, the Wodi Wodi people of the Dharawal Nation. And I pay my respects to the elders past, present, and emerging. I also pay my respects to the traditional custodians of the various lands on which you all are. The check-in sessions have been developed by our Communities of Practice team and the entire community. These sessions aim to develop a reflective practice in response to changes. Guided by humanistic Buddhism, we would like to cultivate our practices and build memorable friendships. Last week, we were blessed to have Dr. Jonathan Page lead us through a powerful meditation on the breath. This week, we are delighted to have our friend, Professor Stephen Hill, return to the facilitator chair. Stephen is an emeritus professor at the University of Wollongong in the Faculty of Law, Humanities and Arts, and is a key advisor to the Communities of Practice. Today, he will be speaking to us about building peace and care from within community. Welcome, Stephen.
Thank you very much. Well, perhaps I'll take over and if we can spend a minute or two just adjusting ourselves, adjusting our bodies, meditating quietly. So can I suggest you please relax, feel that you've got a good place that you're sitting, and just let your body shake a little bit and just close your eyes. We'll go through your body first just to try and help it relax a little bit more. Start with your forehead. Get rid of those wrinkles up there. Just let them go. The same with your mouth. Move down through your neck. Shake it if you need to get rid of any perhaps stress that might be there. Through the top of your shoulders, your arms, your fingers. And then down your back. Just keep feeling and seeing where you're going, right down past your waist, where maybe it's a bit stressed from sitting or standing too long. Down through your feet and just relax. Feel it going through your whole body. And then back to your breathing. Just watch your breath in and out. Perhaps you might imagine while you're breathing like this, a candle inside your heart that's glowing out to the people around you, the people beyond that, and right into your community that's around you, which is what we're going to talk about a little later. Feel that glow of your own power and wealth and worth as a kind human being to all others. Now feel us coming back. You are part of the glow of everybody else in our humanity. This is basically what community is, and that's what we're going to explore today. So just relax for a little bit longer, but not long. Just let yourself loose so that you feel free to hear. Breathe in, breathe out, and watch your breathing. Okay, may I suggest now that you come back, open your eyes, have a look around you, but just basically tune yourself to hear and also to respond. Because basically I'm talking about kindness today. Okay, now let's start with this first slide. Building peace and care from within community. And now let me start with that, a story. This is from my direct experience. When I arrived in Jakarta to take over a United Nations office, UNESCO office there in 1995, pollution in Jakarta was unbelievable. It still is pretty bad. But for example, there's 1,400 cubic meters of garbage went into the water of Jakarta Bay every day at that time. It was just quite bad because people threw everything into the rivers. The rivers floated right down to the ocean or into the bay. So we decided to take a program on this. I'm only going to sketch this very, very briefly. We started with people on the islands and also helped them develop other kinds of ways of producing and making money without cyanide fishing. We worked then with children, brought them out to show them what we're doing with the islands, and they became our ambassadors to go to the markets to tell people what they could do and what they could save. But then we set up programs in three key communities. One of them, Banjarsari, became ultimately the ecotourism site of Jakarta after a period of time, from a semi-slum over a period of about 6 or so years. But the particular community I want to talk about is one called, turn it over now, would you mind, Priscilla? Kapuk Muara in North Jakarta. Now, the point about this is that it was in an area directly between two communities of Javanese people and Chinese people. Chinese people were very badly treated by the government at that time. And what happened then at Kapuk Muara was we set up a community environment center, but we set it up right on the border, very consciously, between the two communities who didn't talk to each other before. And the environment program started to get people together, so they started to cooperate together. Now, the point of this is 1 year later, the revolution hit. And the North Jakarta people, particularly the Chinese, were targeted and many were killed. But in Kapuk Muara, nobody was killed. And the reason was that the Javanese actually formed a cordon around this whole area and stopped anybody getting in. Around them, 1,188 people were killed, mainly Chinese. In Kapuk Muara, none. And no buildings at all were damaged. Point is, it's a perfect demonstration of the power of community and of care and of kindness. Next slide, please. I found in my United Nations experience that external aid that could be offered would often fail unless community was involved and committed. Why? Because here we find the essence of our humanity, and is based on sharing and mutual care, not self-interest. We must not set boundaries, but reinforce this human power for those around us. Humanity is what we can be as a human race: empowered, fulfilled individuals with identity and meanings that are deeply woven into caring and sharing with others. And our connectedness extends as far as our consciousness of others. With people around us who are close, we can be enormously powerful in what we do. Next slide, please. And I'll give you one second example, and this is something that Cecile talks about in the last chapter in the book, which we're producing, and Juwai and I are going across to help launch in December in Taiwan. That's called Cultivating Compassion, Going Beyond Crisis. And what Cecile talks about is a young woman called Anna Patricia Non, who recognized the level of hunger that was spreading, particularly through Manila at the early days of the COVID program, COVID infection, partly because a lot of people on the streets were not allowed to go on the streets, and that's how they made their income. What she did then was she brought out what became the community pantry movement, a bamboo cart loaded with food and other provisions, and she put on a sign, "Give what you can, get what you need." She just brought it out. Within a day, it got picked up by social media as a great idea, because hunger had gone from 10% of the people to 30% in just about 3 months. And it spread, because of the social media, it spread across the entire Philippines through communities, not government, within about a week, and then kept increasingly applied further. And my point about this is that what Anna did was she truly listened to what was happening around her and did something about it. That's what compassion is, not just empathy, but doing something about it, but within and through community, caring and sharing with others. And she listened and responded with compassion. And I think it's a great story. Next slide, please. And this is where we find humanistic Buddhist values. The values of caring, compassion, sharing, mindfulness, trust, of connectedness. These are all the basis of our humanity. And I emphasize that word specifically, humanity. because that's what we have in community and we must not lose it. Next slide, please. And you can do this too. You can be involved in your communities. Communities usually or frequently get together around something of a common concern or an interest. And you can make this happen yourself. There's quite a number of stories about how people have done this. One of them is somebody a young woman, in fact, who came into a new area, knew no one. So she put a note in everybody's letterbox saying, look, I'm here. I'll do anything I can to help you, but I'd love to talk to you anyway. And suddenly a community started to develop. I was involved in Glebe in the 1970s when we had a terrible problem with expressways. We were going to destroy everything. We came together. We helped and we actually solved or stopped the problem. The result of it, though, was that a community got formed by the fact we had to get together around a common purpose. You can do this too. And the most important thing is deep listening, listening with compassion behind the words, behind what really the problem is. You're listening to the heart of your community because that's where the empowerment of our humanity can lie. And these are the values to do this of what humanistic Buddhism is. You strengthen your humanity generally. At the same time, you connect to our shared human strength at the same time. Okay, next slide, please. These are the questions which you have already perhaps seen and should be considered in the next few minutes in your breakout group. In what ways do you engage with the people from your neighborhood, of your local community? Can you do something that is sharing and caring together? And if not, what are the challenges to doing it? There may be many. And I guess really then there's the sort of the negative side of this. Does it really matter? Are there better ways of helping people who are in need? But keep in mind the reflection against the character of sharing and of kindness and of care, of building our humanity together with those people who are around us. All right, thank you very much. I hope these may at least have stimulated some thoughts for you to now look at in your breakout groups. And thank you for sharing in this Sunday check-in community.
Thank you so much, Stephen, for sharing with us your experiences and wisdom of the power of community and human connection. So now we'll be placed in groups of 3 to 4 to share and discuss. And in the discussion, we recommend you to spend some time getting to know each other and then discussing our questions. There will be some Zoom notifications to guide you, but feel free to let the flow of your discussions guide you as well. Our sessions are guided by metta, which is unconditional love and kindness for all sentient beings. So let's use these breakout sessions to express and receive loving kindness to and from one another. Take time to pause, to share, and to listen. We'll also ask you to share some of your findings with the larger group at the end of the breakout discussion. But for now, let's go to the rooms for some rich and nourishing discussions. See you all back in 15 minutes. Thanks, Stephen.
Hello, we're back.
Hello, yes, we are. Any reflections and comments you had in the chat box, and the poster team will turn those into a lovely poster that you receive in the midweek email. So thank you, Stephen, and we really hope the check-in session was helpful to you all. And we hope that you experienced the unconditional love and compassion of this community. For anyone who might be experiencing a greater need than what today could meet, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. And you can also reach out to the professional organisations on the screen. So next week, Venerable Jue will be returning to the chair. Her sessions this half of the year focus on the teachings of Venerable Master Sheng Yun. And we will be sharing together next week in the learnings from the Bodhisattva, Guan Yin. As we check out today, let's recite the dedication of merits together to send love and compassion to whoever is in need.
Let us now dedicate the goodness of what you have done to all living beings. May kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity pervade all worlds. May we cherish and build affinities to benefit all beings. May Chan, Pure Land, and precepts inspire equality and patience. May our gratitude and humility give rise to great vows.
So thank you so much, Stephen, for your time and precious sharing with us today. Thank you, Lai Chin, for stepping in especially today and being our IT master. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. So now we'll have our usual plenary session. So please stay around if you have time. Otherwise, see you all again next Sunday at 11 a.m.